Hello buddy, welcome to another quick video. Now today, weather conditions kind of a bit weird. We've got a little bit of light coming through, but mostly quite foggy and not exactly perfect conditions for getting shots, but we're going to try and get some sort of wildlife shots. We'll come up to Codnor Park and hopefully there's going to be some interest around. Some of the robins normally around here are quite good to photograph. If we get really lucky, the Kingfisher will pop out, but yeah, we'll see what we can find. So come and have a wander with us. So we're now officially getting into meteorological autumn. So we're starting to see a couple of little bits starting to turn, but some really interesting sort of features around, more on the macro level as well. Because obviously being quite damp, there's stuff sort of settling on cobwebs and things like that. So yeah, we're doing quite a bit of sort of looking at that side of things. But there's some definite sort of nice sort of little scenes that are popping out, just because of the damp on things. So definitely, yes, even if the light's not great, it's well worth popping out and seeing what's around. Like I'm saying, the low light today isn't going to be ideal, but it'll be a good test for the OM1 running the 300. I'm not running the teleconverter just yet, but a good test, see what we can get out of it and see how it handles the high ISO sort of setups. So let's have a look. We've just come to a section now where there should be quite a few birds, so let's give it a try, shall we? Now I will admit one thing I have done. I've actually tweaked the camera so it's maximum ISO that it can sort of go to is 6400. Main reason being, its next step up will be 12,800, and even on my old 5D, there's no way you can really sort of gain too much back from that. It is too noisy in those conditions. Yes, you've got the detail in there, but the luminance noise from running the ISO that high, no, it's a bit too much. So that's one tweak I've made. But hopefully we'll get some reasonable shots. It not slow things down too much, but I'm relying on the Sync IS to really sort of give me some nice clean shots and really sort of bring things forward on that side without pushing the ISO too hard. So yeah, we're seeing a few bits and bobs turn up now, so let's see what sort of shots we can get from it. Do enjoy it down here though. It's the place where sort of we first saw a kingfisher, place where we first saw a lot of the sort of standard birds that we've been shooting, nuthatches, tree creepers. There's just so much down here. It's just a real shame that, like I say, the traffic is normally quite loud next to the road, but it is a beautiful place, very, very peaceful despite the road noise. But it's the sort of place that you can sort of come down to different times of the year and you'll see different things. You see things develop, the trees sort of alter the shapes and the leaves coming in, stuff like that. So it is the sort of place that if you do spot a composition that you think, yeah, I'd like to do that in sort of different times of the year, it's an ideal place for it, because it is just like really nicely sort of put back to nature. It's beautiful around here. Now one of the things I do tend to tell people, especially if they're out sort of photographing birds, is the trick to it is not so much sort of wearing all the sort of camouflage gear and stuff like that. The big thing that makes a difference is just being very still and very quiet. If you can do that, the birds will just keep on coming around you. It really does help out. So if you're out somewhere you're not getting sort of any birds coming to you, stay still, stay quiet, and they will come down to you. One thing I do tend to do, especially in these sort of light conditions, with the 300, I run it as fast as I can, so up at f4. You've got enough depth of field to sort of do most of the things that you need to do, but you're not sacrificing the speeds, which means, yeah, your shutter speed can go up, your ISO can come down, and it does make a bit of a difference. It just gives you the option to get a cleaner shot without sacrificing it. If you've got really bright conditions, it's fantastic. Drop it up to f8, you've got much more depth of field, you can get much more in the frame, but yeah, in these conditions it's well worth actually sort of getting your aperture as wide as you possibly can. And this being a disused canal, it is the ideal spot for spotting the kingfisher. What we tend to find is they're massively elusive. It's the sort of thing that if you do catch a kingfisher, it's a real sort of highlight of your trip, mainly because they are just so difficult to get. But along here we've seen it more than we've seen kingfishers anywhere else. But the usual thing that you get is you'll see this blue streak go flying by you, and the trick is to sort of try and spot where it's actually landed as it goes along, and if you do get lucky, you'll get close enough to get a shot. But yeah, we'll see, shall we? In spite of the fact that the canal's actually right next to the road down here, the wildlife doesn't seem to mind too much. So I'm going to take a wander up the canal now, see what's around. Okay, if we're really lucky, we might spot a kingfisher. It's sort of pure chance whether you do see him or not, but we'll take a wander up, see what's around, and we'll take you with us. So what I've come out with today is the 300 Pro on the OM1, and I've got the EM1 Mark II with me for filming, running the 12 to 40 f2.8, which I can use for some close-ups if I wanted to. So I've got a good mix of sort of stuff to actually do anything really that I need to while we're out in these sort of conditions. Also, the great thing about using the 300 at f4 is the depth feels perfect for doing sort of reasonable sort of depth telemacro, so flowers and things like that. You can get some really nice shots with lovely sort of background. If you get the settings just right, or get the conditions right, you can get some lovely shots. It is definitely one of those lenses that it shouldn't be able to do what it does, but it does it very well. It's just so versatile. Yes, you fixed at 300mm, which means you've got a bit of thought to put in there, so when you're taking a shot you can't be too close, you can't sort of pile on top of things, but because of that you can get some more interesting shots. So say if you've got some insects or stuff you don't want to disturb them, you can be back sort of a couple of metres and still get a cracking shot that fills the frame. Well worth a go. As you do get further up the canal, you actually come to where the old tunnel mouth is. Obviously it's long disused, relatively closed. There's a collapse part way through, so there's not really a lot of sort of life around there. But the section up here is very much very natural. So you've got the trees growing up around it. There's very little flow unless there's a lot of water coming down from the reservoir just up the road. So it can be an ideal spot to get things that are really in quite a natural environment. Might be able to get it, might not, but we've just spotted an egret that's a little bit further along there. Now, normal case with sort of the bigger birds is you wander just to the point where you can get a shot and they'll be off. So yeah, can't guarantee that, but we'll see what we can get. But it's quite nice to actually see this in this sort of light, because there was a bit of development on the other bank a couple of years back, which frankly made a bit of a mess, but it just seems to be growing back fairly well now, thankfully. But yeah, we'll see if there's anything pops up here. It's normally a good spot where you can find wrens and things like that, so yeah, if we're lucky we'll get a few shots of those as well. So managed to catch the egret. It was a bit of distance out, but yeah, it worked all right. But the kingfisher just bobbed by. Actually landed, we were just about to head up there, and a heron popped in, spooked him, and he's flying back the other end. So I'm going to head back down that way now and see if we can spot him. Hopefully we can. Like I say, it's a real highlight if you can get the kingfisher, because they're such a stunningly beautiful bird. Bright blue and orange, and it's the weirdest thing. They might be bright blue and orange, they can sit in the tree and you won't see it. I don't know how they do the camouflage, it's just absolutely incredible. So yeah, we're going to head down that end now and head back towards the reservoir and see if we can spot him and get a couple of shots if we can. Fingers crossed. So we follow the kingfisher back down the canal, just like you see him in the distance, disappears off. We catch up with him again, disappears off, but we've managed to lose sight of him now. that is the problem that you get with them. They are very quick, and they tend to sort of stick quite close to the banks and sort of low down on the water. So unless you can actually see where they're actually landing to, it makes it very, very difficult. But yeah, we tried, and we'll keep an eye out just in case it does crop up. If it does, obviously I'll pop a shot up, and hopefully, like I say, we'll get one off of him. But yeah, there's still quite a few other birds around, so we're going to get a few more shots. But yeah, we'll keep on wandering. But obviously, if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. Really helps me out. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Try to get more and more sort of diversity in, and try to do I've got a couple of plans coming up soon to do with sort of the differences between full frame and marker filters. Now I've been using them for a while. So yeah, there'll be sort of some different videos coming up. So do hit the subscribe button. And like I say, if there's anything that you want to know, drop us a comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But for now, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.